Honestly, I'm a little bit intimidated because I think all of you are professional speakers. You're used to speaking in public. Okay. Honest, and another thing is, the real change in me, in my perspective, came when I stayed in the US for 2 years. So I'm really, I think it's pretty divine that I'm speaking with an audience with more Americans in it. It made a huge difference in me. So let me just introduce myself. I'm basically an architect. I own a little practice in a place called Calicut, which is a neighboring state to Madurai. I was born and brought up in Cochin, which is a fairly big city in Kerala. Okay. I was born in a traditional, conventional family in India. India has certain values which I think we Indian women are trying to break. And I really appreciate Harbin ma'am to bring out programs like these, because we do need it. We need to get exposed to people, women from different countries, women with different perspectives. So this is a very strange topic actually, the big fat lies which women tell about. It really made me think deep into my journey. I'm 52, so I think I've gone through a lot of crap in my life. So I shouldn't be using that in a forum like this, but it really made me analyze through my life, and where I stand today, I think I've really improved, and I have made a huge change from where I started. Okay, so I'll divide this topic into four. One is the body. I think as women, we relate so much to the body and beauty. The second is our career. Third is the spirit, which we go through. The spirit holds a long, it's very, very, it goes a long way, and that is why I'm here, because I know there are other women empowerment programs, but Harbi ma'am she gives enough emphasis for the spiritual development, and I strongly believe we are just a spirit in the body, and we have a journey to do. And the fourth thing is a family. Right, these are all interconnected, but first I'll start with my childhood. I was born plump, slightly on the darker side, and when I studied in the school, we had my father was working in a fertilizer company, so I stayed at a township where there were so many people from other states as well. So the management basically came from Tamil Nadu. There's a capital called Madras, and there were Tamil Brahmin students studying with me. They are the most purest. They are the Brahmins and the purest blood, very fair, with lots of classical talents like music, dance, and so many other things. My mother came from a very remote village in Kerala, and my father was always traveling. So when at school, I would ask my mom to come with me for all these classical dance and stuff like that, and she just refused. So that was a pretty bit of a inhibition in me, which I was not good enough because of the peer pressure. All the other students were all really good. So what did I do about it? Now when I stand and look back, what did I do about it? See, when I got independent, when I got the time to study, I went back. I have my own classical teacher now. I studied classical music, and so many things which I always think the negative things which it will always be there, and there will be a time when we can really develop it. The second thing is about body. I was always short. I I was pretty fat and I was slightly on the darker side. The awakening factor came when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2007. Well, when you have chemotherapy, you lose all your hair. You lose your eyebrows. You have the steroids and you get ugly and fat. I looked in the mirror and I thought, the previous me, how I was born, was much, much better. I was not looking good without hair, without the eyebrows. So I really had the gratitude for whatever God had given me. So when I recovered, I still appreciate whatever I have. I might be short, I might be fat, I might not have good, the hair which I wished for, but this is what I am blessed with. And I hold it tight that I should not lose it. So I definitely go take care of my health, and whatever is there, I look after it. The second thing is the family, and the third is the career. For an Indian girl, both are interrelated. So I was so happy to see the girls yesterday. The young girls were talking about their career and what they wanted to do and all that. At that age, in my early 20s, after my architecture course, actually my father straight away got me married to a doctor. So he was from a not very well-off family, and I think money had a lot to do with it. We have arranged marriages. We are still striving against it, and I wouldn't say that it was love with which he married me. Honestly, I can't say that, but I never had the courage to speak up. But so many things happened in my life that I always think that I have to share it with other people. So I got married, and the Indian patriarchy is very strong. So I was told that, you're not allowed to go for a job. So architecture is not an easy course to go through. You can't sleep at night. You have to work really hard. And I passed out with a gold medal. I was actually not. I was not going to accept that. And I just thought, even if they don't agree, push me out of the family. Actually, I'm okay with that. So I went ahead. I went for a job, and. After I went, it was pretty okay. Then I went to UK. I was there for 10 years. When I went to UK, before I talked to all the people who had gone earlier, the architects who had gone earlier, and they said, you go study and come back. You're not going to get a job there. But there was something in the female that's got the gut instinct, the intuition. I thought, it's not what they say. Let me go see and try how I can fare. And I got there. I did my basic diplomas in the university, not a major degree. And I met a wonderful person called Kerr Marshall in Edinburgh. And he took me in. I didn't get a big salary, but references are very important in UK. And after I got the job, I got many jobs after that. So it's not, we believe in what others say, and I don't think we should be believing all that. So after I came back from India, after a spout in US as well, I was working with a very senior architect in Calicut. So I worked with very major projects like convention centers, the Le Méridien, and I knew that he was getting a lot of money, whichever projects I was working with. So I requested him, you either raise my salary, because I thought I was worth it, or you give me a percentage. So he just point blankly refused. And as soon as I got out of the cabin, he joked to one of the guys that she's after all a female. She's not going to go away. So he immediately came out and told me. At that moment, I decided that I'm going to start my own practice.
Yes.
So if I had believed in what he said, definitely I wouldn't be here talking to you. So, see, Calicut is a very Muslim-dominated area where women just don't work. And I was not from the city. I was there for only 2 years. I was definitely not from the city, and I looked much more progressive than the women then. They still wear the parda. So when I told my family, my father and my husband, they laughed about it. They said, "Are you crazy? You know, who do you know here? How can you start in a place like this?" But you know, I had good friends. So one of the friends was Mr. Roshan Kainadi, and he said, "You know, Cindu, you should believe in yourself. You just take a space and you start on your own. Let's see whether you get projects or not." So I started with 2 small projects and have really grown. I take up a lot of convention centers, hotels, hospitals and all that. And I think, you know, all these outer things really doesn't matter. If you're really good in what you work and if people trust you, it just grows. Right. Then comes the family. Well, I had a lot of trouble there. So money was the main thing. He would ask for, he is a plastic surgeon now, but when I married him, he was just a doctor. So he had to go out to UK for his FRCS to get his general surgery, then his plastic surgery. So, you know, in India, there is a thing like you have to give dowry, or the woman from the place where I come with has to go with a lot of money. You're not valued as such. It is the money which comes with you which is valued. So he would ask for occasionally, like once in 3 months, he would ask for a large sum of money. Then if I didn't give, or if I didn't want my father to give, is it time? Yeah, it's a time. I'll just quickly go through it. Yeah, because this bit is interesting. So if I don't give money, he would throw a tantrum, which was furious. I couldn't take it. So I went back to my father and said, "See, Father, Acha, this is not the way I want to live. See, I've got a career. I didn't come out then. This was 24 years back. I didn't come out." So he pushed me back in and said, "You know, you are a girl, an Indian girl. What will you do if you come out of the marriage? You will not be respected. And, you know, men will just, hunt you down." So I believed in it, because I always thought my father did the best for me, and eventually it came to a point that money was always given. And it came to a point when I was undergoing my chemotherapy, he asked for 1 CR. I don't know how I would convert it into dollars, but it sort of opened my eyes. I already had 2 children and I was undergoing a chemotherapy, and I just couldn't take it. So I was not financially, I just had started my practice then. So I waited for another 8 years. I went through all the domestic violence, and I wanted my children to grow up. I have 2 boys. I wanted them to grow up. So after 8 years, it came to a point when he threw me out of my house, and he said all the properties have to be written in his name. So that I just couldn't accept it. I walked off, and I filed for a divorce.
Yay!
Yeah. So I got my divorce in 2007. This is something which I'm still reluctant to share with the Indian audience. I'm so glad that so many.
Indian audience, you ought to share.
Yes.
To inspire.
I don't know. Maybe they think now I'm a rebel of some sort. So I was so glad to see the audience, honestly.
But you are a rebel. That's the good thing about it. You are a rebel.
So, there was one thing which really helped me to come out of it. It was the spirituality. Because I lost everything. He took, Indian laws are not very protective towards the women. I know that the American laws are very much protective, and the women could take almost the major stuff. Yeah. So, I left with nothing. He took the house, he took the children. the children came round after some time. The mom is always a mom, and I thought it would be a bad name, and I'm working privately, so the social standing really matters. So when I look back, I really didn't have any problem, as my father had said. I don't have any stigma. If somebody, like sort of flirt with you, you stand your ground and give them the looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at them and they stand in their place. And I think meditation has a lot to do with it. Like it is the cleansing of thoughts, so that you know exactly where you're going. And just to sum up, I think it's time. Let me just one more thing. When I went to my divorce lawyer, he said I could make a mega serial or a big book, a big novel, which you can take it on the TV, make it as a mega series, because the content was so much. So I can laugh about it, but it wasn't very easy to go through it. So I always think, it was not believing in myself and believing all the lies which other people told me, which I imbibed, which took so long to set myself free. Now I'm so free. I think after my divorce, I've traveled to about 10 countries. And I learn a lot about it. I watch people, and I watch women especially. Yeah. So I think all of us are unique. Male or female, we are all unique, and we have a journey to take. And whoever we are, whatever experiences we have to face, it is all God-given. So God bless. Thank you. Any questions?
Just
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Cindu. That was very inspiring.
And write that book. Yes. Write that book.
I just wanted to make one comment, your comment about arranged marriages in India. I was thinking how in so many ways, while we don't have necessarily arranged marriages in the United States or in other countries, in many ways our thoughts arrange those marriages and limit us, and we think we have to marry the doctor because our parents told us that, or we think we have to be this person when we get married, and those limiting thoughts hold us back, whether it's an actual arranged marriage by our parents or in our brain.
No, actually here in India, just to share with, actually here in India, when children are born, right from a very small age, the first value is embedded in their mind is, your parents will do good for you. You have to listen to what is happening. I mean, even a 16-year, I have a 16-year daughter, she's very clear, Mama, my right of marriage is on you. I've never told her that, but it is in her, because we are surrounded with people, with values, with family like that. So it happens only, and they believe that our parents will do only the best for us. Maybe that we invite them when they are just 2-3 years, right from that age. So it is like this.